caring was at the very centre of it. And this sort of took shape during the First World War. She volunteered for service as what I think was called a VAD, in which you and I would probably call a nurse. In the early years of the First World War, she met Archie Christie, fell in love with him, and married him. And he was a soldier and later an airman, a very brave man who fought in the First World War. And that was the basis of the next part of Nimar's life. In 1922, Archie got a job as financial advisor to the British Empire exhibition, and they travelled all the way around the world, from South Africa to Australia to Canada and back home. And this was, in some ways, I think, the high point of Nimar's marriage to Archie. When they got home, slowly but surely, Nimar began to write books and obviously became quite preoccupied with them. This was roughly the time when she wrote The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. And Archie became very enamoured with playing golf, and eventually met a young woman at the golf club who he became infatuated with. And this was all to end with Archie saying that he didn't love Nimar any longer and he wanted to go off and get married to Nancy. At the same time, Clara, who was quite an age by that stage, became ill and eventually died. And it was, I think, the confluence of these two situations that made Nimar eventually ill, to such an extent that she eventually, in inverted commas, disappeared, went off to Harrogate in North Yorkshire, and forgot about herself as an individual. Eventually somebody found her and she came home. I think it was a mixture of loss of memory and intolerable sadness and almost despair, when all the things in which her family life had been based right up until then, her mother and her husband, all fell to pieces. And I think most of us, if those kind of events happened together, would have experienced not only sadness, but maybe something even worse than that.